What in the actual fuck is up, Cowboy Nation? Welcome to another episode of Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. I'm your co-host, Charlie Moffitt. Next to me is Mr. Producer, Eric Berger. And down there at the bottom, we have a very special guest tonight, Rika Moves the Chains. How you doing?
Hey kids, what's up?
What is up? We got J-Tucks in the comments now.
Hey Tuck.
So what's going on?
Vic's in there. Mendoza said what's up.
Mendoza.
Yeah. That man, that dude is
Yeah, he's pretty hardcore.
A staple in any
He is so
comments.
hardcore.
Hey Vic, just real quick, didn't make your shirt, but we'll get it out next episode, I promise.
Oh, for the subs.
Yeah, we've been getting a ton of love. All social media, the channel, obviously, and big salute to Vic because obviously we've been pushed by others, Rika included, but Vic has really stepped up to the plate and pushed us big time. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, my little Mexican buddy.
Come on.
My little Mexican buddy. So what's up, Rika?
All right. So I guess you guys want to talk about the blog this week, right?
Yeah.
No, we're going to start this out with your special announcement.
So, this special announcement, right?
Yeah, tell everybody what's going on with your special announcement.
Here's what's going on. This week, there will be no blog. Taking a break. But starting June 20th and running through the end of July, if you are a Facebook user, you're only going to get the link to Rika Moves the Chains if you jump over and join the Star Gang group or the Star Gang page. We're going to be exclusive to the Star Gang. My friends over there, BJ Nix, Spoonie, Mariella, Matt O, they've got the rights to me through the end of July. So you can get the link on Twitter. You can go directly to my website, RikaMovesTheChains.com, or you can be one of the cool kids, come over to Facebook, and join the Star Gang. Also, BJ and I will be going live. We're going to be doing Inside the Blog through the month of July, but if you want the dates and times, you're going to have to sub up for that too. Go to the Star Gang on YouTube, subscribe, hit that notification bell. They're going to be good shows, but they're going to be exclusive.
Nice. Yeah, shout out to Nix, Spoon, Mariella when she's available. I see that
she's back.
Finally got to get back. Yeah, that's cool.
She's back. I think she's on later tonight or tomorrow maybe with Big Game James.
Okay.
I saw him talking about that on Twitter, so I'm definitely going to tune into that. Two of my favorites.
Cool.
Outstanding.
All right.
Well, let's get going.
Yeah.
We'll start with Rika's blog about Dipshit Dan O. So tell us what you think about him, right?
The thing you have to know about Dan Orlovsky is that he is the football equivalent of a shit sandwich without the bread. Dan Orlovsky is a complete moron. So, I don't know, it's been a good 2.5 weeks ago now, he comes out with this outrageous scenario where the Cowboys are going to be third place in the NFC East. And then last week, he goes on 105.3 The Fan. He's on with Shannon RJ. I'm listening through the app. And he's defending this horrendous take. And none of it even made any sense. He's saying, well, number one, this is what Dan the Shit Sandwich has to say. Number one is that the Washington football team and the New York Giants are outcoached. Are better coached. They far outcoached the Dallas staff. And I'm like, you're a moron. Really? And the thing is that if he thinks that those two teams have better coaching staffs, that's great. Anybody's take is valid. But if that's your thought, you need to be able to back it up. And he doesn't have anything to back it up. At no point, and I have scoured social media, I've scoured ESPN.com, at no point has Dan given a reason for why he thinks that Joe Judge, the about to be second-year head coach, who went 6-10, is a better coach than Mike McCarthy, who's been to, 4 NFC championships and has won a Super Bowl.
It's got a chip, yep.
you got to give me a reason why these guys are better. I mean, okay, Kellen Moore, he's, going into his third year. It's been a couple of rough years. But Kellen Moore, was a quarterback coach. He got raised up into that offensive coordinator spot, and he was handed this offense that was 22nd across the board. And at the end of that first year, we're ranked first in yards and we're ranked sixth in points. And that's his first year as an offensive coordinator. His second year, we saw last year, but that really wasn't on Kellen. That was on the defense. So then I'm looking at the New York Giants, and who's their offensive coordinator? Well, you got the clapper. So what's Jason Garrett done in his lifetime? He's clapped for no apparent reason, and he's chewed a lot of gum. He's accomplished basically nothing except a lot of mediocre 9-7, 8-8 seasons. Jason Garrett is like the king of field goals, too many threes, not enough sixes.
Super
So don't sit here
conservative.
and tell me that he's a better offensive coordinator than Kellen Moore is just because he's been in the game longer, because I'm looking at him and they got the same record.
Mr. Curl.
Exactly. He's just ridiculous. He's talking about that Dallas has more holes in their roster. We don't even have a roster, Dan. You're not going to have a roster until August. You're not even through training camp. You're not done making moves. So I thought, okay, I'm going to bite. I'm going to look at these rosters. And so I go to the websites. I go to WashingtonFootball.com. I go to Giants.com. I go to DallasCowboys.com, which is bookmarked on my computer for obvious reasons. And I'm counting players by position. And the only hole that I saw in all three rosters was in New York. They've only got 3 safeties right now listed. So Dallas has, I don't know, like 6. Washington has 5. That was the only glaring hole that I saw. And by holes, if he meant the quality of the players at position, you really can't assess that yet. All 3 teams have a whole lot of rookies. They've done a lot of moves. Until you see a full training camp and a couple of preseason games, I'm not going to start judging quality of players and saying that we have holes on the roster just yet. It's a little early. It's a little early for that, Dan. So I'm not buying it. And then, of course, he talked about the defense and all of our failures of last year, and that's valid. And, we may have the best quarterback in the NFC East, but the best quarterback doesn't equate to winning games. And Dan's absolutely right, because we saw that in Dallas. Excuse me. We saw that at the beginning of the season. And if having the best quarterback and quarterback performance equated to games won, we would have been 4-0 or at least 3-1 when Dak went down. And we weren't. We were 1-3. So I see that. But in this narrative that Dan is spinning, we haven't done anything to correct it. And that's simply not true. We've got 8 rookies that we picked up in the draft. We've got a ton of free agents. We got a brand new defensive coordinator. They've done a lot of work. So let's not come in here and act like the 2020 defense is just still intact with all the same people, the same staff, and they're going to come back out on the field and completely shit the bed again like they did last year, because it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And I don't expect them to be perfect. I don't think we're going to have a top 10 defense. I'm not crazy. Not crazy like Dan, but I do expect improvement. And I think I was talking to my friend Jordan Tucker the other day. I told Jay Tuck, I said, you know what? I think this defense is probably going to hit 14 to 18, right in there. We're going to get top 20, but I'm going to be happy if we increase by 30%. If we're ranked 21 or better in overall defense, I'm going to be a happy girl. And I think if we can do that, then we'll be able to keep opponents, we'll be able to keep those scores down low enough so that Dak's arm is going to win us some games.
Yeah,
so
I feel
I'm
like
excited.
the move
and I don't think we're going to be third in this division.
The move at coordinator alone should get us that far. Personnel, I expect, and I would be disappointed if we didn't get to average 15, 16 area or better. Like I said, just the coordinator move alone, scheme-wise, these guys, getting back to rushing the passer, playing the run on the way to the quarterback, it'll make us in that 20, 25 range. And then, with the personnel they brought in, we're definitely better at linebacker.
Absolutely.
Across the board, really. Secondary is going to get a huge boost. I would be disappointed if we weren't above average to above average at the end of the year.
I want to address Steve's question about relying on the rookies. That's like more to my point, Steve, about that because we have so many rookies. I definitely don't think we're a top 10 defense because of that. They're going to make mistakes. There's going to be hiccups along the way. But I think that the rookies we got and the free agents we got are of a particular caliber. And I think that Dan Quinn chose very wisely. And he has built this scheme around the talents of each player instead of asking these players to adjust their God-given ability to meet his scheme.
Finally.
And that's why it's gonna work out for us. So it won't be perfect, Steve. It won't. We're not gonna have a perfect defense this year, but I'm okay with that because we made moves to improve.
Sure, there's a learning curve, right?
There's definitely a learning curve. And and I've got a lot of notes on some of these rookies that I've written down through the last couple of weeks. We'll be talking about that later tonight. But no, I don't think they're absolutely going to turn the defense completely around. We're not going to be the best defense in the league, but we're going to be significantly improved.
Yeah, my opinion is Danny O is a dipshit. That's about all I got to say about that. Really, he's a fucking moron.
Man.
No, he's just a moron.
The equivalent of a shit sandwich.
Yeah, he does it for clicks. We're the Cowboys. You talk about it's good or bad, you're going to get ratings. So, hey, let's talk about the Cowboys. Let me say some stupid fucking shit like we got the worst coach out of all the NFC East teams. Let's see how the Cowboy fans think. And what do? We buy into it and we do it. He gets to us.
Yeah. He did it so that Cowboys fans would get mad so that people would click the link. And I took the bait and I got mad.
Yeah, you didn't worry one. But yeah, no, he said
when he first said it, I didn't give it I just thought, Dan's running off his mouth again. And I went on about my way. It wasn't until about a week later when I'm sitting there and he pops up on the fan and I'm like, well, why are you on a Dallas Cowboys radio station talking shit about us?
Just in case we didn't hear him the first time, he wanted to make sure we heard him the second time.
Ridiculous idiot. I'm so over him. And I said in the blog, and I completely 100% stand behind it, Dan Orlovsky is in a constant four-way competition with Stephen A., Shannon, and Skip to be crowned king of the jackasses. All four of them need to just...
Well, they all do the same thing. You got Skip, you got the first take guys, which they've always been idiots, and then you got Skip. He's been an idiot since the early 90s. He's been an idiot. Just he wasn't on TV, was on paper. Mm-hmm. And then you have that fucking big tooth, fucking horse mouth, Mr. Ed looking motherfucker, Shannon Sharp. I can't stand that fucking dude, man. Seriously, he'd whoop my ass because that's a big old boy, but I like to knock his big ass teeth out of his fucking mouth.
It'd be worth it just to get one hit in.
Yeah, if I could just get one hit, he'd whoop my ass. I'd be like, hey, I knocked at least two of them big ass Mr. Ed looking teeth out of your mouth. But yeah, no, I don't even watch them shows anymore. I probably about 2-3 years ago, I just said, hell, I can't do this anymore. It's gotten way, and some of my favorite shows has just got ruined, like Speak for Yourself when Whitlock was on there. I love that show. It was two dudes, but usually they had two guests to come in, and it just reminded me and my friends, just like we sitting at the bar drinking a beer and just bullshitting about the games and stuff. They didn't always agree, but it wasn't a set up disagreement to where it's just I'm going to have this take and I'm going to say some over the top bullshit, then I'm going to come back over this over the top, and it's fucking annoying. And then NFL Live, I've been watching that since the mid '90s, dating back to when Wingo was hosting it, and Stink was on there, and fucking Golick was on there. This back in the mid '90s. Loved the show, and now it's became a little bit of a bigger debate show. You have fucking Danny O on there, and I love Marcus Spears, but he gets into it. He says some, even though I love the Cowboys, he'll say some crazy shit about the Cowboys. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. And then Danny O will come back, you serious? And it's just like, Jesus Christ, man, I hate that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I just like this. Is the sad thing about it is my 2 shows I watch that I kind of watch more now than anybody else. It's Colin Cowherd. And a lot of people don't like him, but it's not a debate show. It's him. It's just one man's opinion, and a lot of them are stupid, but it's just opinion and it's news. And I can deal with that. And then the other one is, and a lot of people is going to frown upon this, is Pro Football Talk. Mac Floria. He's a fucking worm. I mean, 100% worm. He tries to start shit. He tries to break news that's really not news, but he hopes it turns out to be news just to stir the pot. You know, a lot of people don't like Sims, but I actually like Sims. But again, they're not arguing and debating, but they're talking and analyzing the game. I might not agree with their opinions, but at least I don't have to listen to them make up shit like they cannot believe. You just know you cannot believe that. And then but I give Mac Floria credit. He started off like Rika with a blog, and now that dude's turned that shit into fucking multi-million-dollar business and working for NBC. So I give him credit for that. I mean, he did good. He's a lawyer too at one time.
I mean, my opinion on it is that, you know, if you want news, if you want actual real news and facts, you know, late breaking stuff when it comes to injuries or whatever it is, you're going to have to go mainstream. You're going to have to go to Associated Press or Bleacher Report or Fox Sports, and that's fine. But if you want takes, if you want opinions, the best place to go is going to be to a content creator. It's going to be to YouTube, because that's where you're going to find people who are only really focusing on one team. They're narrowed in. They know every single player. They know everything about him. You know, you've got Professor O over here in the chat. He's going to know any stat that you ever wanted to know about the Dallas Cowboys. And if he doesn't know it, he's going to find it in like 2 seconds flat. That's my guy when I need a stat. So
I enjoy watching Matt a lot.
Isn't it fun? I love watching Matt. And
he spits them out, man.
Yeah. You know, but just because they're fans, they're not going to sugarcoat it. They're going to point out the bad stuff, but they're not just going to point out the bad and make it doom and gloom. They're going to point out the bad, and they're going to talk about ways to fix it using the personnel that we currently have. And they know every player well enough that they're going to have legitimate ideas and thoughts about that. So, you know, you get a guy who's reporting on all 32 teams and a few other sports, and granted, that's his job 24/7. He's not going to know, though, what a content creator knows. He just isn't. And he's not going to care the way a content creator cares. So
But they're all like that.
I'm all about mute the mainstream.
Like even Colin, we'll take Colin for example. Anybody that does his job, when now the Cowboys are on TV, so there's a good chance he does watch a lot of games. But they can't comment. They break down all these games. And like Colin's not watching no fucking film. I know that for a fact. He's not watching film. But they comment on these games when knowing there's no way they watch these games. No way they watched all however many games are on a weekend.
They're watching highlights that
a
producer put together for them.
From their producer, FS1 or ESPN highlights. That's what they're watching, and they're judging off that. You know, because there's times that Colin or any analyst will say something about the Cowboys, and I'm like, did you watch the fucking game? Right. You know, did you actually sit down and watch the game? Because I don't have no clue what you're seeing.
Yeah.
You know? Like anytime they come on and talk about how good Jalen is, I'm like, y'all didn't watch the game.
Exactly. They saw a couple plays, they made a take on the player and ran with it, you know, but maybe those were like the 2 plays that he was bad, and the other 58 minutes of that game he was extraordinary. So, and vice versa.
Mendoza took the words out of my mouth here. He says, I hardly listen to the national media guys. I stick to the underground. Exactly.
That's right.
I think
underground Mendoza.
It's Cowboys official media, you know, their official, you know, Twitter and official, you know, when the PCs come out and stuff like that. But then after that, it's all these YouTube guys. It's us. It's, you know, Jake Tubb, Boss, all these guys out here, Law Nation. Who else we got? Help me. Bluff City, of course. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I say you can't forget. That's my.
I need to put him first. Can I rewind it and go back and put him first?
That's my.
That's our guy, man. That's our guy.
Yeah, you got Big Game James and the XXO.
Yep, Skywalker
show. Oh, Skywalker. Mm-hmm. Heck yeah, Space Cowboy. They're all great.
Space is great too. Absolutely.
Isn't he? He's such a cool kid.
Cool kid.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, when is the Around the Nation coming back? I haven't seen a new episode in I don't know how long, and I was riveted. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Shirt pockets.
I don't know.
So
You got that still?
yeah, we'll have
Yeah,
to
we'll
hit Still up on Twitter
I'll
and
be
see
right
if we
back.
can
and
find
ask him.
out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's get to a couple questions here. There was a couple questions here back up.
Okay.
Vic says, "What are your expectations for Randy Gregory this year, and will Dallas pay the guy after this year?" That's a great question.
Wow.
Expectations
I've
got to be
got-
high, right? He has got it
Oh,
all put
yeah.
together. There's nothing in his way. There's no, smoke all you want in your own time and come to play, and we'll see where this goes. If he does ball out, do we pay him? Thoughts?
Ooh.
I'll let
If he
Rika
does
have this
ball
one.
out, do we pay him? You know what? I would. I think that we do, and but I don't know
Listen,
if Steven will. What Steven would do and what I would do are always two completely different
I think
things.
I think
And
Steven
not
may
and
get
it
what he
has
wants.
nothing to do with the player. It has everything to do with the fact that Steven is cheap. Steven is a
Yeah, but here's
cheap
the
little
deal.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, here's the deal. I think he'll get what he wants. I think Randy has been given opportunity after opportunity in this program, on this team, by this front office, and I don't see why he would, or I don't see any reason why he wouldn't take, a team friendly deal.
Oh yeah. And I like Randy. I've always liked Randy, and I always wanted that rule to change. I'm glad that it finally did. I'm glad that he's back. I don't have a problem with Randy. I mean, I'd rather have him on this field than sitting on the couch playing Madden and smoking a blunt, which is what he's been doing for the last 6 years
I don't know,
because
man.
of
Have
the
you seen it
league
with
and
his
their
shirt off? I don't
stupid
know.
rules. So yeah, let him smoke up and take the field. I'm happy for it. Let's do this. I think Gregory's gonna have a fantastic year. I think he's motivated. I think a lot of Gregory's problems really have been mental. It had to do with
Sure.
anxiety. It had to
Sure.
do with a bipolar disorder, and the marijuana calmed him down, leveled him out. Was probably in some ways healthier than psychotropic drugs, which is what they would normally give you for that. But he looks fantastic. His natural ability, just the talent, is unbelievable. You can tell he's been working out. He's been working hard. I think Randy Gregory goes 10 plus sacks this year.
Mendoza's got him as his MVP.
10 plus sacks this year on Randy Gregory, and I would bet money on it.
Oh, wow.
I would bet money on it. Absolutely. He's going to have a great year. That is the veteran player on defense I'm most excited to see back. Of course, on offense, it's Dak. And then I've got rookies on each side of the ball that I'm most excited to see what they do. But, yeah, for me on defense, I'm really excited to see 17 games with Randy Gregory, a whole off season and a whole regular season, no suspensions.
Here's an idea. Vic says Gregory may be a franchise tag option. Who knows?
Yeah, he might be. The mental health things might make them a little apprehensive about paying him. They may want to make sure he's down for the long haul. I wouldn't fault the front office for that. And I don't think Gregory would be the kind of guy to not sign the tag or not play. I think he's probably down for anything. He's just happy to be on the field. And even if he does go 10 plus sacks this year, we talk about team friendly deals. I think he wants to play so bad they could probably get him at a bargain. I think the guy is just happy to finally be doing what he wants to do.
I agree.
I doubt they'll tag him.
I think so.
No. I think they'll work out a deal. I think they'll work out a
tag
deal.
option. A lot of people are talking about trading Gallup instead of paying him based on the talent of Cedric Wilson and these rookies that we picked up. But now with Cooper's ankle thing again, and I don't think it's anything real serious, but I don't know that we're going to be so quick to let Gallup walk away to not pay him.
I've been saying it for a couple of years, man. I don't like
find himself on a tag.
Coop's availability is questionable, man. It's always something with this guy. Soft tissue stuff too, and it's the stuff that he needs the most. It's the cutting. It's the that quick twitch stuff.
And I'm not overly concerned about not having Coop. Obviously, I think he's a great player. He's a great wide receiver. He's phenomenal, and I want him on the field. But we have so many good receivers right now. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to have an incredible year it's going to be amazing what CD does this year. So you've got that. You got Michael Gallup. He's tried and true. You can always depend on Gallup. Cedric Wilson showed us some serious talent last year. I'm excited to see him back out on the field. Noah Brown has always been solid. He's not a wide receiver one, but he's always been a solid receiver. And then, of course, we've got Simi and we've got Vasher. Still looking at those two guys. But I'm hearing good things so far. So I think, and then that's to say nothing, of course, of the fact that we've got Tony Pollard, who could also serve as a wide receiver. And we've got Jarwin and Schultz at tight end. We are heavy on receivers. So if Cooper can't start, if he can't play, it's not the end of the world. It's nothing to stress about. It's all going to be all right.
Gallup next year will come down to money. It will come down whether he wants the money, whether he wants to go out on the free agent market and try to get teams a bid for him. And it will depend on how his year goes this year, how much he'll get. Like right now, I think he'll get around $14 million a year. I'm not so sure the Cowboys would do that. Well, in fact, I know they wouldn't. But if he would take less money to stay here, I don't know if he would or not.
Pull a T-Will?
Huh?
Pull a T-Will?
Maybe, but, I don't blame him. If he wants to go get his money. Yeah, if he wants to go. Yeah, he has to prove his drops. But he didn't lead the team last year on drops either. Lamb and that running back did.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, and as far as Victor's question, and I looked this up because I thought I remember seeing it today, and why I said Gregory won't be franchise tag. It's $20 million a tag of defense next year. That's what they're projecting it to be. I don't see him. I can see him maybe tagging him just to keep him. Just to try to work out a contract, but they have to work out. He's not playing on a $20 million tag. So that's why I don't think he'll be tagged.
What if he's got 15 plus sacks?
15? Well, I think he'll get a contract.
Yeah.
I mean, look at our fucking team. I mean, it does. All you have to do is have one good year, and they'll pay you.
Oh, yeah. Look at DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, you got fucking...
all over the
half
place.
A year.
You have...
First 3 games.
You have Jalen. I mean, he had 22 starts. 22. And only about 10 to 12 of them was good starts. The rest of them was meh, and out of nowhere, boom, they give him a contract. And he was going to be a restricted free agent at the end of the year. We didn't even have to do that.
We
owned his rights. Mm-hmm. Like when the year was over in 2019, we owned his rights in 2020. All we had to do is put that RFA on him, and he was tagged for fucking as a restricted free agent. So I don't understand why we did that. It was fucking dumb. Let me ask you this. Do you honestly think, and this might be a stupid question because we do stupid shit, but if we would let him play it out in his last year, his 2019 season with no contract, I don't think they would have paid him at the end of that year because I think of what a lot of people are forgetting. They saw last year how bad he was last year, and they're blaming it all on the defense coordinator. That's fine. He wasn't worth the shit. DC was horrible.
Yeah, Nolan carries a shitload.
But if you go back 1 year, Jalen was not great in 2019 either. He was not great then either. He had took a step back. He just took a bigger step back last year. Do you honestly think after 2019 season they would have gave him that contract? I don't think they would have. I think they would have used his restricted free agent tag on him. I think he would have played a 2020 under that tag or took a lot cheaper deal. And if he didn't take a cheaper deal, there's no fucking way they was paying him that much money after this 2020 season.
I think they would have paid him
pre-draft.
Pre-draft.
What are we talking?
I think they would have paid him
at the end of the 2020
2019
season. Do you honestly think they would have paid him any money? I don't give a shit the draft has happened yet or not. Mm-hmm. After 2 years after 2019 playing on restricted free agent as the last year of his contract, and in 2020 on the restricted free agent tag, do you honestly think at 2020 they're going, oh yeah, he's great, let's fucking pay him a lot of money? No, they wouldn't have paid him. They wouldn't have fucking paid him. He probably would have walked.
But also, if they would have had to have paid Dak at that point, and I think they would have been more likely to pay Jalen than they were to pay Dak, just because Jalen is a company boy.
Yeah.
Jalen is what the Joneses like. Jalen is willing to dress in white and go on the yacht and come to the barbecue and give Jerry a blowjob or whatever the fuck it is that Jalen does to deserve $68 million. Jalen's willing to do it. Dak was never willing to do it. So Jalen wouldn't have got that tag. But if those two things hadn't have conflicted, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
know.
I said,
my problem with
they paid
Jalen.
him.
is it's not the number of tackles, it's the lack of tackles for loss. It's also because I like a good attitude. Is I like that he's positive all the time and he's happy, but he seems to be out of touch with reality. He's celebrating when you ain't got nothing to celebrate about, when you need to be taking it seriously, and he's not doing it.
Telling people to watch the tape when everybody knows the tape was terrible.
Yeah, I don't want to watch the tape. I was traumatized the first time I saw that shit. Okay? I'm not going to go back and watch the tape. You're crazy. But
Yeah, they
I've
paid
been
him off the
giving it
2018 season is what they
Yeah.
did, and
Yeah,
that
when
was
LVE
just like,
came in,
oh,
they-
he was good. And I'll say it again, he wasn't good for all 16 games. There was like 10 games. I'll give him 12 that he was good in. The rest of them, he's like, eh. And they paid him off that season, and they paid him just strictly off what he did that season, and he has not even came close to that season again. And that's what I said. If they wouldn't have paid him in 2019 and he played that season out, I don't think they would have paid him at the end of the year. I think they would have used that restricted free agent and let him play on that. And then at the end of 2020 season, or unless he would have took a deal, something less than $68 million, some team even because it wasn't a bad deal, to be honest with you, but it was still too much for what he had done at that time. But I think he would have played it out, and I think he wouldn't have been on the team right now, especially after last season. I mean, look, think about this. We drafted 2 linebackers in the draft. So with his money, as much money as he's already had,
That answers
and
your
the
question.
money, they've paid him already. They still drafting 2 to replace him, or one to replace him, but drafting 2 linebackers. Do you honestly think they would have paid him at the end of this year if they would have let him play out his contract and tagged him with the restricted free agent tag? No, there's no way they would have paid him. Hell, they just kind of once Jerry pays somebody, he's going to do what he can to make it right. He's going to give him every fucking chance in the book to fucking turn out fucking better than what you are. And I think this is Jalen's year. I think this is Jalen's year to show what he can do. And I think it's going to go very poorly for him.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking a lot about Jalen today.
I try not to think about him much.
Yeah. Well, after the draft, I was never a Micah Parsons fan, but we drafted him. I knew I was going to have to accept it. So I started preparing myself, doing my yoga, meditating, trying not to use the F word so much, and thinking about, so I started getting used to Micah Parsons, basically. It was never a question of ability or athleticism. I knew that he was going to be an explosive, fantastic, tremendous linebacker. It was a character concern for me. But so far, he's proven me wrong. I really like Micah Parsons. I'm glad he's a Cowboy, and I'm glad he's got a star on his helmet. I was wrong. And Micah Parsons, I'm sorry that I wrote that nasty blog with you on March 25th, and you can find that blog at RikaMovesTheChains.com. But thinking about that, I was dead set that Micah Parsons has got to be the middle linebacker. He absolutely does. I can't take any more of Jalen at middle linebacker. I can't do it. And not even just for the playing ability, but because he just seems so damn ADD out there, and he's supposed to be leading this defense, and he's got this green dot on his helmet, and nobody knows what the hell they're doing. And I'm like, what is Jalen's problem? Lead the damn defense. But the more we hear, the more people go ahead and speak out about what it was like for the defense under Dan Quinn, the lack of coaching, the lack of direction, the lack of teaching, or not Dan Quinn, Mike Nolan. Yeah. The lack of teaching that Mike Nolan was doing. Now I'm stuck wondering, is it really all on Jalen? Was he that bad of a leader, or does the majority of this need to fall on Mike Nolan? So with that being said, because I do love the idea of Parsons at Sam with Randy Gregory over there blitzing. Thank you, Matt Owen. I think that's genius. I love it. I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm all about it. So then you're going to have Jalen on Mike again, and that was exactly what I didn't want. But I think we got to give Jalen a shot under Dan Quinn to learn what he needs to do and to actually execute it. And we're in a position this year. Last year, once Jalen was on Mike, we didn't have anybody else. So even though we sucked, there was nothing we could do about it. We had no depth. But we're not in that position anymore. We've got tons and tons of linebacker depth. So use Jalen at the mic and If
No.
he flops, he flops. But hey, we've got some depth. We can make the adjustment. As long as they make the adjustment, then I'm good with it.
I love Matt Owen. There's no fucking way I'm not putting fucking Parsons at the mic.
Yeah.
I'm not getting cute and
But
putting
that's
him over
what's
there at
great,
Sam
though.
or Will.
Yeah, your
That's
sub
what's great
packages
about
are.
Parsons, though, is because he is a good hybrid between Mike and Sam. He's like that KJ Wright.
No, that's fine. I don't give a shit.
Depending on the package,
Yeah, packages.
put him
Yeah,
in both
there's certain
places
packages.
at once.
But yeah, there's going to be packages everywhere. That's the thing about trying to guess this defense right now. Nobody has a fucking clue because we got one reason because the hell the coaches don't even know. They've even fucking Quinn even admitted the other day that he's still trying to figure out each person and each individual where they fit. I mean, it's a lot of moving parts right now. But there's no way do I want Jalen taking the majority snaps at the fucking mic. And now I don't have a problem with it on certain packages. Parsons is good at rushing the fucking quarterback.
Yeah.
So you use him for that. I mean, the three things he does good, or two things really, is fucking blitz and rush the quarterback. So make sure he does that a lot. You know, but if it's at the expense of you got to put dipshit in the middle, Jalen. Well, no, I'm not really. I'm not fond of that shit.
That's where I was, Charlie. I was there too before today. And the more I think
You
about
let
it,
Matt Owen talk you out of it. He ain't talking me out of that shit. I love him, but he ain't talking me out of that.
I was just thinking.
I think he's just needing more sub packages and stunts, something like that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
The sub package is going to be great.
Yeah.
What's the worst that's going to happen with Jalen and Mike? And I was like, we're going to have a couple of bad games. We may have a couple of bad games anyway, but I'm willing to give Jalen another shot on Mike after he learns what the hell it is he's supposed to be doing right there. I just don't.
If Parsons goes down, I think Jalen's your guy. But other than that, I don't think you ever pull him.
In depth chart, he's going to be number 2, Mike.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that. But if we roll out that fucking first game and he's playing the mic, that's not going to be fucking.
Gonna lose his mind.
It's just going to. There's no way. You don't put him at the mic. I mean, but again, I don't have a problem with Parsons, but the packages of throwing him in there at a defensive end rusher or as the Leo, and shit like that. I don't have a problem with that.
Even with say you're in nickel or something, and because I think PFF had Parsons and Jalen out there, right, starting in the nickel. Great. Send them both. If you're going to have both those guys on the field, send them. They can both blitz.
But think about this, dude. The problem I have with that is
it might get predictable, but whatever.
Who is the worst coverage linebacker? Matt Owen will tell you LV is actually great at it, but he's a big PFF fan. So he'll tell you that he's actually gave up more passes than Jalen has.
Yeah.
But I still argue Jalen is worse in coverage than LVE. But either one of them, both of them suck, so we can agree to that. And then you got Parsons. What is his weak point coming in? It's coverage. Mm-hmm. So I don't. That's a bad nickel to me. That's just not a good nickel. And then that thing I had a problem with that.
Some kind of monster blitz or something where you're pulling two.
If you want to do
bringing everybody.
Shit, yeah. But PFF, they also had fucking Neal out of the game, out off the field, and I'm like,
I don't see that either.
No way.
I think Neal either is your weak. And if you go to nickel and you're going to move him, I think he moves a strong safety and
drop
Wilson
him to
comes
strong.
off the field.
Drop him to strong and let
I don't see him coming
Cox
off the field.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't really give a shit as long as they keep Jalen off the fucking field at Mike as much as they can. I don't want to see that shit again either. I've seen it for the past 2 years, and it's not just last year. I keep hearing that it was bad last year because of coaches. You could put 90% on the coaches last year. I have no problem with that. But 2019, he was not good in 2019 either. He wasn't fucking good. I don't even know how to actually explain that except what he says. Go watch the 2019 film. He did a lot of the same shit that he did in 2020. The only difference is at least he knew what he was doing. I do give Jalen credit to that. Sometimes he looked lost. Only difference is in 2019 he wasn't lost. He just fucked up all the time. Take bad angles. Go to the wrong hole. Fucking get ate up by the offensive lineman. Can't shed the offensive lineman. It's just the same shit the past 2 years. He is an above average linebacker. That's what he is.
Nolan definitely deserves the lion's share of the blame.
Yes, most
because
definitely.
You saw
defense sucked.
You saw regression on every level. You know what I mean? So,
yes.
but Jalen has regressed before Nolan. So it's not for him specifically. You can't just say it was Nolan. or the people that are
Yeah. And part of me too
apologetic.
is that I have completely drank the Dan Quinn Kool-Aid.
Oh, I've drank
I
it.
am
I
so
drank it when we
in
hired
on
him. I like to
Dan
hire.
Quinn. Oh, he's so fantastic. I think he's the best teacher in the whole world. Dan Quinn has been serving me cherry Kool-Aid with extra sugar. There's crushy ice, and it's in a Wonder Woman cup. I am so in love with Dan Quinn right now. Give him a big kiss if I could.
Yeah, Mendoza brings this up. Rika did too. This is the problem I have with total tackles. Total tackle stat is absolutely worthless.
Oh yeah, completely
I will show
deceptive.
you. I can
Jalen
show
is
you an
like
article that was
top
written.
7 in total tackles, but none of them mattered. They
Yeah.
weren't productive tackles.
I can show you an article where Bobby Wagner and damn, my mind's going blank. The white safety that played for the Chargers all them years, they went to Baltimore. Little hard hitter.
Beard guy.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about.
Anyways, they was both in the
Baltimore.
article, and they both more or less made fun of the total tackle sack. Said they don't even watch it anymore because they don't know. Bobby Wagner said there would be games where he thought he played well and made a lot of tackles, and they'd have him like 2 tackles. And there would be games he thought he played like shit, and he'd add 10 tackles. He said he got to the point where he doesn't even pay attention to it anymore. Now, most of them have something in their contract about tackles and shit, so they care that much. But overall, the total tackle, when people start judging linebackers like Jalen, I'm telling people Jalen's not that good, well, he led the team in tackle. He had 120, 140. I'm like, dude, that doesn't tell you anything. Half of them tackles have been 30 yards down the field. It doesn't tell you a lot about how good a player is by the total tackle. It's a useless stat. It's probably more useless than a total yard stat. Total yard.
Mendoza was quick to the draw.
Eric Weddle, there you go, buddy. I knew. I couldn't remember.
I just looked it up, but I saw his comment before I saw my Google
Yeah,
search.
but that was the 2 guys. They was both making fun of the total tackle.
When it comes to linebackers, when it comes to defensive tackles, I'm always looking at tackles for loss, always, because to me that's the stat that matters. If you're tackling them after they've they're halfway to the first down, well, that's no good. I don't want that. I don't want first downs. I want him to stay behind the line of scrimmage. I want to back him up. I want
Tony
it to
Casillas,
be
former
3rd and
Cowboy,
15.
made fun of him. Yep. But yeah, I remember last year Tony Casillas made out a tweet saying Jalen is the best 10-yard down the field tackler he's ever seen. That's how he is. Most of his tackles are downfield. Now, some people, I won't mention their name, will tell you, well, at least he made the tackle. That's the point of the play, huh? Well, yeah, the point of the fucking play was not to let him get 10 yards. So yeah, I'm happy that he made the tackle at the 10 yards, but it didn't really accomplish shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, total tackles, total yards, anything really total stats that you try to use to show me a player is good.
They're too vague.
You're not going to get too far with me.
Specific,
like telling me Derrick Henry's the best running back in the NFL because he led the league in rushing, that doesn't do nothing for me.
Zeke, the league in carries,
for 3 years, I was told that Zeke was the best running back in the NFL because he led the league in rushing. And as soon as he didn't lead the league in rushing, I asked them guys, well, is he still the best? Yeah, he's still the best, but he didn't lead the league. Yeah, but this and this and this. I'm like, Jesus. No, dude, you got to look more than just fucking, that's a volume stat. That's all it is.
Volume, yeah.
Who led the league in Falcon attempts last year? Derrick Henry. Who every year when Zeke won the rushing title, who led the league in fucking attempts?
Yeah.
Zeke Elliott. That's how that shit works. When you get more carries, you're going to get more yards. That's just kind of how it goes. It's like that every year. Every once in a while, you'll get one that leads the league in rushing, might be number 2 in carries or number 3, but it's always pretty close to where you finished with yards, and your attempts are pretty even. What's your thoughts on the secondary?
Steve Lupton, what's your thoughts on the secondary? We can transition to that. Sure. Yeah. I see a lot of people putting out 53s already. I got to see more, but I saw Bluff last night. I think Charlie was going to hop on with him, but got bumped for George Teague. Which
if I got to take sloppy seconds, someone George Teague ain't a bad guy to get take sloppy seconds.
Pretty cool there. So let's jump into the secondary. First of all, who do? Okay, let's say we're in the nickel. You got a slot there. Who are y'all's starting 3 there at the cornerback position?
Go ahead, Rika.
All right. So
put you on the spot.
I have to tell you, when it comes, the secondary is the part of this team right now that's making me nervous. It's making me really nervous. And I honestly, I can't tell you who my starting three are. Obviously there's Diggs, who's going to be a starter regardless. Here's what worries me about Diggs is because I don't know what to expect. Ordinarily, you bring a rookie in, they have their training camp, they have their preseason. You see him play that first year, you see him, make like some really big plays, and they have a good year, and then they get that sophomore slump.
Anthony Brown.
But Diggs is a whole different story, though. Diggs didn't have what everybody else had. So
he was thrown into the fire, sure.
He was thrown into the fire, and obviously I think he's got great talent. And my favorite game watching Diggs was week 2 in Atlanta. Because Diggs goes out there, at this point he's only ever played 4 quarters of NFL football. That's all he's got under his belt. And he's out there and he's beating Julio Jones on every single play. He kept Julio Jones out of the end zone for 60 minutes. And people say, yeah, but Julio's not the receiver he used to be. Yeah, but it's still Julio freaking Jones.
Everybody keeps Julio out of the end zone, though. He's not a big touchdown guy. He's a yards guy.
But there's this guy that's beating him on every single play. Julio had a bad game at the hands. Fire Rowdy, damn right. I want to see Rowdy in a cage match with the King from the Burger King commercials. That's been my thing all day. Find a promoter and set that shit up. I will pay for it. Let's do it. But then Diggs had the injury, so he really didn't finish off that freshman year. So I don't know what to expect. Do you expect a sophomore slump?
No.
Or do you expect
Diggs is the only one I feel comfortable with.
Continuation of that first year? I'm just not really sure what to expect there. And then, of course, I've still got the whole Chinese kitty scandal rolling around in the back of my mind.
That disappeared after a week. I don't think there's too much there.
It disappeared after a week. And, and she was dumb and she put the phone numbers on. And Diggs is not answering the phone for me. I mean, you publish Diggs' phone number. I'm going to call the damn thing. Yeah, he ain't answering. Rude. So there's Diggs. And then there's Brown. I feel like Brown, even initially just at the beginning of the season, is probably going to be the starter. I'm not happy about that. But he's okay. He's not a great player. I don't think he's the worst player in the league. I think he's just okay. I think if they can coach him up a little bit and get him to break that habit of always looking forward and never looking back to see where the ball is, he's going to play a whole lot better. But we'll see what happens.
He's the highest paid DB, isn't he? On the team now?
Yeah, on the team now. I believe so.
He better start if he doesn't.
Yeah, Kelvin Joseph. Damn it, Kelvin Joseph, boss man, you're killing me. You are killing me with this. With the quarantine, with the not being in practice, and then he's got this stupid Instagram video he's put for his dumb rap music, and he's over there. He's driving around in Dallas in the pouring rain, isn't wearing a seatbelt. He's not holding on to the steering wheel. He's messing around all over the car, dancing, fucking with his phone. And he's got me sounding like my damn mama yelling at him, you need to wear a seatbelt, young man. My advice to you would be to put that phone down. So, and I'm like, shit, I sound like my mom, man. But Kelvin Joseph needs to work it out and get it together. I definitely, no matter what kind of training camp and preseason he has, I don't expect him to be a starter right off the bat. Maybe later in the season, you might see him get swapped out for Brown. But you have to remember that Kelvin Joseph only had like between 15, 20 games of experience in college. So, but my take on that since the second day of the draft has been that makes him he's my boom or bust guy because of those games. And because when you look at the tape on those 15 or 20 games, it's phenomenal. He's a great player.
Sure.
Yeah. So if there had been another 25, 30 games worth of tape and he looked like that, he would have been in that first round conversation with JC Horn with PS2, and we probably wouldn't have got him. He would have been gone. So maybe the fact that he doesn't have a lot of games under his belt is going to work to our advantage. That's what, maybe got him for us in the second round. Or he could completely shit the bed and fuck everything up. I don't really know. I don't know what's going to happen with Boss Man Fat, but he better put his goddamn seatbelt on. I know that.
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about Nashawn Wright.
Hey, nobody liked the pick, right?
I didn't like the pick.
Nobody
and
did.
I'm still on the fence about it.
Go back and watch the tape.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, there's obviously
it's good tape.
Some not good, so good stuff. But
yeah,
man,
so good.
I'm still on the fence about it, and here's why. Because they're talking about his rookie camp, and they're talking about his OTAs. And here's the thing that I like about Nashawn Wright is because he believes that he can be a more athletic Richard Sherman. And, I like it. I like that attitude. I like that arrogance. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
I don't know
if he's willing to. Yeah,
like
he didn't really, but
I think that was blown out of proportion a little bit.
If he's willing to work really hard and strive to be that, then I definitely think he can get there. And that makes me like him as a player. However, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on him yet because they're like, oh, did you see the interception? Did you see that? And he got a pick in the training camp, in the OTA, in the mini, and the blah. Yeah, here's the thing, though. They're just doing – Dak is only doing the 7-on-7s. So these things that Nashawn Wright has been doing, this is on Ben DiNucci and Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah.
When you pick off Dak Prescott, you come see me, baby. I'll write a whole blog about you. But until then, I'm going to stay on the fence with Nashawn Wright.
But if he keeps stringing these little events,
he's got really good
everything.
Momentum.
Man.
He's got really good attitude. I think he's got a better work ethic than Kelvin Joseph. And I think Anthony Brown starts this season at corner, but I don't think he finishes this season at corner. One of those two guys is going to take over that spot. And if I had to put money on it today, I would put money on Wright. I think Joseph is the more talented player, but I think Wright is the one who wants it more and is going to work harder for it.
I do too.
So we'll see.
When he first came out, the show that Charlie and I did on the draft recap, he was one of the guys that I was going to, stand on a hill for because of the things that I saw on the tape. He does have those tools. He does have, the ability to be a great corner. The length. When Dan Quinn sits there and talks about length, it's a big factor. This kid, I mean, yeah, you get into his chest and you can get right by him. He's got some technique issues to work out, but he can. I think he can play press man better than maybe anybody on our team, and that might be saying a lot. I don't know, but from what I saw on the film, he ties guys up 9 times out of 10. Now that 9th or that 10th time, you better have a safety over the top because boy's getting thrown out of the way, and he doesn't have the speed to catch up, right? So he's not going to be a trail guy, but he does have length, and that does make up for some of that speed. So I'd like to see him string together some more of these, training camp interceptions and big plays because I have a lot of high hopes for him. Let's move to safety. Obviously, we kind of have an idea of who's playing strong side, right? Wilson probably going to be there. Who do y'all have as your free safety?
Charlie? I take the corners. I'll let Charlie take the safeties.
I ask this on every podcast, on our show all the time. Everybody's, we're solid. Who do you got a free safety? And it's like, silence every time.
I'll think a big Kearse, whatever you pronounce his fucking name.
J-Ron, yep.
Yeah. I think it's going to be pretty simple. I guess that Muhammad, whatever his name is.
Mukwama.
There you go. I hammer these kids' names.
No, KZ. Yep.
KZ.
Mendoza says KZ.
Mm-hmm. KZ? I don't know. I think all of my safety thoughts the last few days have really been centered around Wilson. I love Donovan Wilson so much. I loved him last year. I knew he was going to be a starter. I had my heart set on it. I thought he was so great. He changed his number. He's the only player that changed his number that I didn't cuss at because I was like, let Donovan do what he wants. I don't mind that he changed his number. I love him.
What is he wearing?
But now
6?
Yeah, he's
Six?
wearing 6 now. But now we find out he hasn't been around the star much this offseason. He hasn't been there. I'm a little, apparently he's had some mysterious injury, but he's not hurt. He's just a little sore. I'm just having some concerns about Donovan Wilson. And if there's something going on there and he's not ready to go and he's not playing the way he did at the end of last season and he lets me down, I'm going to be so brokenhearted and I'm probably going to send him hate mail. Just letting you know that. When I get arrested for sending hate mail to Donovan Wilson, Charlie's going to put money on my books. I don't think he's listening.
He's reading.
Well, no, I was reading Matt Owen's comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he explained it up there earlier. He said he doesn't want Jalen and Mike full time, just specific looks. And that's kind of what we said. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
We got you, buddy. I thought the same thing when Rika said that you said that.
Yeah, no,
full-time,
I
there's no way.
didn't want Jalen and Mike at all. I didn't want Jalen with a star on his helmet. I was pissed, and I didn't want him at Mike ever, not even for certain looks. But Matt kind of he sold me on it. Matt has some good ideas. Matt can usually talk me into shit. Matt's like, "Hey, Rika, what are you doing? You want to go I don't know, rob a bank and kill some puppies?" And I'm like, "Yes, Matt, anything for you." Charlie's not laughing at my jokes.
No, I'm reading Matt Owen. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
He can't walk and chew bubble gum.
No. But yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was reading because he was explaining what he said.
Yeah.
That's why I was trying to figure out what he
Parsons
said.
He
Neal
plays
is
it
a
better
nickel.
than I do. Matt is smarter than me, but I'm better looking. So.
Yeah, see, like Parsons and Parsons and Nils. That's I'd go with that on nickel. That would be my nickel.
What about this, Matt? Parsons, obviously, he's going to be a linebacker. Neal at strong safety and Cox as your other nickel backer. Let me see what you have to say about that. Because I've been saying it for a while now. Big nickel. You bring in a linebacker, so you're not small, and you still keep Neal on the field for the coverage. But man, Cox is arguably the best coverage linebacker on the team. I don't see how you can't have him out there on third down. So disruptive.
Now we're all waiting on Matt.
That's an awkward fucking pause, man.
Mendoza says that's the dude I expect to see more during the season. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's who I hope to see. But anyways, yeah. But going back to corner, I Diggs is the one person I feel comfortable with. I think he's set.
Just a little. I'm not real worried. I'm not as worried as I am about Donovan Wilson at safety. I'm just a little bit worried about Diggs.
Yeah, he's the ones I'm not worried about at all for whatever reason. As far as the other one, I do think Brown would end up starting. Mm-hmm. Now, where that leads to during the season, who knows? But I think the first game he'll be the starting, and then Lewis is going to be the slot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be pretty simple.
Yeah, Lewis did say he mentioned that he's been what did he tell the media? That he was playing in the box?
Yeah. Well, he's a good blitzer.
Yeah, that's what I think he's gonna be like some kind of sub package or some kind of blitz look from the slot.
Yeah, he's good. He's always been good at that. So hopefully they will use him more doing that.
Well, we're at the hour mark here now. Where do you guys want to go next?
You want to talk about offense? Total tackle
sure.
list is worthless, just like rushing yards. RBs don't matter.
Running backs don't matter. That's right. Unless your name is Tony Pollard.
That's right.
Well, the only reason it matters is because he makes $800K. As soon as we pay him, if we pay him, he's not going to matter to me anymore.
But he's also more efficient.
Well, yeah, he's more efficient, but
He's a double threat.
it's not a lot of running backs impress me. I ain't gonna lie to you. Or you can say a lot of them impress me. I can go with that too. I can go with there's 15 to 20 in NFL that I would love to have. Just not at $15 fucking million a year.
Right.
Right.
You just can't do it. You take that 15 million, you give it to fucking Jones is what you do. That's what you should have done. But you didn't, and now what are we doing? We're worried about cornerback. We didn't have to worry about cornerback if you wouldn't paid your fucking running back and gave that money to your cornerback. It would have solved that fucking issue. And you already had a fucking running back for another 2 years and TP. So that's why earlier when I was saying
and a top 5 fucking corner.
That's when I was saying earlier is talking about what we want to do in contract. I can't say that because we do stupid shit. So there's no telling. When I was talking about Jalen, I was saying they wouldn't have paid him. Fuck hell, they might would have given him a bigger contract than they did 2 years ago. They probably would have paid the shit out of him. So I mean I can't tell because I never saw the Zeke contract coming. I never saw the Jalen first contract coming. I didn't see them just letting Jones walk out the door for nothing. I didn't see him making Dak wait 2 years to get his money. I didn't see none of that coming.
Right.
I definitely saw the Zeke contract coming. However, I figured out before Zeke took off for Mexico, and I knew that they would pay him because I knew that Stephen Jones is stupid and Stephen Jones isn't willing to change. And the thing is that if this were 2011, Zeke would have been worth that money or the 2011 equivalent of that money. However, this league is changing. This is not a running league anymore, and Steven isn't willing to accept that. At some point, Steven has got to understand that you cannot overpay running backs, run the ball, and use time of possession to mask deficiencies on your defense. You're going to have to pay your defense. You're going to have to get good guys. You can't build a defense out of rookies and injured free agents that somebody else cast off.
Yes. Will you marry me?
Absolutely. So
my buddy Corey asked, "Do I draft Dak as my first pick in the fantasy draft?" Now, don't take him in the first round. You don't need a quarterback in the first, but he should be the first quarterback off the board.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Definitely. Yeah, he's going to be the first
Appreciate
quarterback
the support.
off.
He's actually a Texans fan.
I would take Dak in the second round, though, on a fantasy draft.
Yeah, I think it's that important.
Would. Mm-hmm.
Look, he was the number one going into the injury. I mean, I had him on my team. I drafted him.
And you know what? With the Falcons getting rid of Julio, I think because they're going to lean on Kyle Pitts a lot, I would go Kyle Pitts in the first round. I would go Dak in the second round. Don't worry about the rest of that draft because you're going to clean house every week. Just make sure you're covered on the buys.
Yeah.
You're going to be. And then if you win some money, remember I like chocolates, shiny things, CeeDee Lamb jerseys. Lipsticks. Those are the things I like. Iced coffee.
Iced coffee.
Iced coffee. I'm almost out. As soon as I run out of iced coffee, this show is over.
This show is over? We're getting the fuck out of here?
Matty O says the issue with tackles is that their team reported all other stats are gathered by the NFL. That's why the teams have one guy with 100-plus tackles and the others have 5 with 100-plus. Yeah,
that's why the article I was talking about is talking about that. It's also, a lot of people don't understand, it's not an official NFL stat. It's not an official NFL stat. You know, people always talk about quarterback wins. Quarterback wins ain't official. Well, it's not. I agree with you. Then neither are tackles. Tackles is not an official NFL stat. Tackle for losses are an official NFL stat, but total tackles is not official NFL stat. It's no different. It's just like high school. My son played his varsity year. He made like 3 tackles one game, 4 tackles, something like that. He played defense tackle. And when the paper came out, motherfuckers had him for 1 tackle. And I was so pissed off, I wanted to beat the shit out of that rider because I know who he is. I wanted to grab him by his fucking eyes and rip him out and piss on his one good brain cell. Like, give my son some fucking credit there, boy.
The solo tackles are easy, right? It's the
pile on.
The assisted tackles that are subjective.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't get credit for the assist in football. like you do.
in
You
fantasy.
just don't get credit. Yeah, in fantasy, you don't get credit
Mhm.
for the assist. Um,
Jalen
you know,
does.
if
Jalen
you're
swipes after the assist.
yeah, if you're so that's too bad. But
But yeah, we'll talk about offense.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
best part of our
All
fucking
right.
team. Uh,
It
well,
really
let me
is.
see what I had to say about it. I like it,
Hmm.
and we're going to do very good on offense. There you go. On to the next subject.
We can talk about offense. I got about 15, maybe 20 minutes, and then I got to run.
Okay.
Um, it's actually my birthday today. I'm so
Aw,
glad that it went.
happy birthday,
Thank you,
Eric.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad. I really wanted to keep it on the down low, and I'm glad that it's didn't come out until the hour mark. Just to keep the focus on Rika here and her announcements and stuff. So appreciate the love, appreciate the all the happy birthdays I've gotten today. But I do have to get out of here. I do have a party waiting on me here in about 15, 20 minutes. So if y'all want to talk about offense, we can do that.
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead, birthday boy.
What do you got?
Dak is healthy. That's it. That's all I care about.
Yes.
He was putting up those numbers without Tyron for 3 of those 5 games. He was doing it without Leal for all 5. Weapons are more important to me than that O-line. Now, obviously, it's important, but I think it's more important for Zeke. And then having Dak back, obviously, is another huge boost for Zeke. So,
Yeah.
the Zeke apologist, you might get your wish. Zeke could have a breakout year, and he should really, if you think about it.
He should get over 1,000 yards.
We've spread the field.
Definitely.
I mean, every defense is going to be thin covering us, so I don't see how everybody doesn't eat this year. I don't. Barring injury, obviously, but here's another.
I mean, that's the best way you got to look at a
Thanks,
running back. What, happy birthday, boo. Hey, bitch, that's my boo. That's not your boo. He's my boo.
I ain't forgot about the T-shirt. I do owe Vic a T-shirt. Vic is the real MVP.
Well, I won't go that far. Come on.
I think we've tripled in subs. He for right now.
We went from 55 to 162. What do we have now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, everybody's giving you happy birthday.
Everybody's coming in. Hey, I appreciate it, guys. I really do. But let's keep it. Let's keep it football. Let's keep it Cowboys.
When we
All
give you a
right.
kiss through the screen.
You stupid.
You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
The chat is.
You're
the
my
chat
boy
is
and my boo.
funny. I was on with these guys for about 20 minutes before we actually went live. You guys didn't have to witness the birthday spankings that I did. It was traumatizing. Absolute trauma.
I spanked that ass.
Offense. Here's the thing. Zeke's gonna get more than 1,000 yards. But whether or not Zeke has some phenomenal record-setting year is going to depend on the defense. Like I said before, as far as time of possession, if we're not playing from behind all the time, we're going to run more. Zeke is going to eat, and he's going to find that end zone a whole lot, and he's going to have a really great year.
Yeah, with this offense, you're looking to be up big
if the defense isn't doing their job, we're going to be back to that where we're playing from behind a lot, and so then you're going to see Dak with the big yards again, and the wide receivers, especially I feel CeeDee Lamb this year is going to be a huge target, so he's going to set some records. But either way, everybody's going to get a piece of it. And week before last, the blog I wrote about the offensive tackles, and I just want to be clear, I love Tyron Smith. I think Tyron Smith is amazing. And I worry about it. I know he had the surgery. He feels good. He feels like he's in the best shape of his life, but they always say that. And he's missed so much. He hasn't played a full season in 6 years. He's missed so many games. We had to draft defense this year. We had to do it. As bad as I wanted Rashawn Slater, and he was right there for us too.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to draft defense, and part of that was Steven's fault because we shit the bed in free agency. We didn't take care of business. There were some really great free agents that we could have got and we didn't get them, so we had to go get a bunch of rookies in the draft. But next year, we've got to get a high ranking, a high drafted offensive tackle, or at least a swing tackle in there. Our saving grace, though, is that depth that we built last year. With everybody out, all of those second and third stringers.
Yeah, Steele. I mean,
basically
Philbin had those guys looking good, man. Towards the end of the year, Steele, Knight, those guys came. They came around.
Yeah, they really did. So, we've got some depth there. So I'm not worried about it too much. I think Collins is going to complete the year. Collins is looking great. He spent the off season working out with Dak. He's looking better than he's ever looked. And I was really mad at him last year because I know he had the car accident and an accident, but that fat son of a bitch, he wasn't in condition to play before the car accident happened.
It looked like he was lazy. That's that Louisiana chowder or something.
He was lazy. Yeah. He was absolutely lazy. And you know what? I'm lazy too. But guess what? Nobody's paying me $10 million a year to be an athlete.
Sure.
If they were, I would look so fly right now. But until I get that check in the mail, I'm sitting around eating Cheetos and watching you guys on YouTube all goddamn day. And that's what I'm doing with my life. So
it's a good life.
It's a great life. Collins really had me pissed off. He's cashing $10 million checks and he can't get off his fat ass and exercise for 30 minutes a day. So I was very upset with the Collins situation, but he does look good. He spent most of this last year working out with Dak Prescott, so he's going to be looking really good this season. I think he'll finish the season. If he has an injury along the way, it's not going to be like a big one. It's going to be like a 1.5, 2 game little sucker, and then he'll be right back in. I do worry about Tyron, though. I think his heart is in it. I think that he wants to play. I think he's a great guy. Neck and back injuries, though, even with the surgery, that is so hard to heal from the right way. It's so easy to re-injure that, and he's just injured over and over and over again. So I worry about it. But it is what it is, and the offense is going to look good regardless, so I'm really not sweating it too much. I'm really excited about this offense.
Yeah, I think he'll be good this year, but I agree we need to probably start looking into the future. Mm-hmm. And as far as Slater, to me, there is no have to draft. No matter, we never hear me say we have to draft defense. No, we didn't have to draft defense. Mm-hmm. We should have took Slater. That was a more valuable position off the long run background. I know you fucking Parson fans, your hives going to get pissed off.
I was so mad.
You don't draft off the long linebacker at that spot.
I hit the roof when they took Parsons. I sat there and watched the Chargers take my player because I have been on Slater. I was on Slater since like December. I wanted Rashawn Slater. All of those people who were on the pitch train, everybody was talking about Patrick Surtain and then J.C. Horn people and I want this and I want that. And I was Team Slater the whole time. They were like, you don't want Pitts. And I was like, look, I'll get on your pitch train, okay? But I'm not going to get in the front. I'm going to sit way in the back of the lounge car, drinking a whiskey sour, smoking a cigarette. And I might step off that pitch train whenever you guys pass by the Slater rally. I don't know, but I'm definitely down for Slater. So the Chargers have my offensive tackle, and I've been sending them hate mail for that.
Right, the Chargers had the draft we should have had.
Yeah.
No, I don't have. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with Surtain or Horn either. Me and Eric was on the pitch train, but I didn't have a problem with Surtain or Horn either. But Slater was one of the ones I wouldn't have an issue with either.
Right.
And I love Parsons, and I want to tell people this: he will be the best linebacker on our team. I don't even think he's not even stepped foot on the field, and I'm telling people he's the best linebacker we have on our team. With that said, he is an off-the-ball linebacker, and that is not a valuable position to take at 12. That was my biggest issue with the Parsons pick. The player I had no issues with. Fucking great player. He's going to be great, do good things for us. But the value at that position is just not there, especially when you have Slater, which is a valuable position.
Right.
You take that.
I mean, because
cornerback is a valuable position. Take
exactly.
Horn. Take
It's the long-term value, right?
Yeah, it's just a long-term. It's just
And my thing is that we paid Dak $140 million with a $124 million guarantee. $124 million guaranteed, and the guy most responsible for protecting him hasn't played a complete season in 6 years. And I put the percentages in my blog. What was it? He's missed like 32% of his
Well,
games
last year's
since
what?
2015, something like that.
But
Before
if you
that, it
take
was
last
just
if you
two,
take
3
last year
games.
off, that percentage will drop quite a bit.
Yeah.
When you miss
Well,
a whole
actually, it was
season,
Collins. Collins had only missed like 18% until last year, and then he boosted up over 35%, missing that whole season. But I just Smith
I
has
say,
missed so many games, and you've made this huge investment in this quarterback. It's the biggest financial investment we've got right now, to say nothing of the fact that he's excellent. And you want to protect him, and I don't think that we did enough to protect him. We should have been more aggressive in free agency, gotten a really good defensive player so that we could have gone offense in round 1, picked up Rashawn Slater, and then spent the whole rest of the draft on defense. And
but
I
see,
would have
that's
been
the thing.
fine
We
with
still
that.
could have picked up
That's what I
Slater.
wanted to
still could have, yeah.
happen.
We still could have.
It didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. But that's the thing. It's like, well, we can't draft offense because we didn't do anything on defense for agency. Doesn't matter. You can still draft offense. You can still draft offensive tackle. It's a valuable position.
I had a plan. I published for public consumption one and only one mock draft through all of that turmoil. It was in my blog, and I took Rashawn Slater in the first and still had an excellent defensive haul after that. And when I mocked that, I didn't want it to be flukish. So I tested it out. I mocked it 5 times the exact same way over the course of days, putting time in between to let the algorithms mix up in the simulator. So I know it was doable to get a really great defensive haul and still end up with Rashawn Slater. But it happened, and we can't go back. I just hope that Tyron's surgery was successful and that he's able to stay on the field, because I like Tyron. I really do, and I want him to be there, and I want him to protect my quarterback, but that's definitely a need, though, that we've got to address soon.
I'm not so sure what Matt Owen meant by this. He put LOL, so.
I don't believe in OL in round 1. It's against my philosophy.
Yeah,
Matt,
he can explain that. I'm not. I think
shouldn't
he was
you
joking.
be? What are you even doing in this?
I don't know if that was a joke or that was a shot at me, because I don't believe in off-the-ball linebackers.
Twitter? What are you doing? I love Matt Owen.
Yeah, I think the anti Slater peeps were more against picking him there because he's probably going to play guard for at least a year, maybe a couple.
But that's what I wanted him to do.
But again, it's the long-term value. It's not.
Exactly.
What does he do right away? He's your left tackle for the next 10 years.
Yeah, Connor Williams is on his last year.
Mm-hmm.
We could have put a rookie in there. We wouldn't have had to sign Connor Williams, and we would have been able to slide him over when Tyron got hurt, and Tyron is gonna get hurt.
Like Rika said earlier, football is not played like it used to be played. And that is one of the reasons why off-the-ball linebackers just aren't as valuable as they used to be. The Mike Singletaries, the Ray Lewises, the Brian Urlachers, them guys just there was a different type of football played. It's not the same as it used to be. It's kind of like running backs. And I grew up in the 80s, all right? That's how old I am. I went to school in the 80s, barely graduated in the 90s, or supposed to, 92. But I went to school in the 80s, played football in the 80s, early 90s. Mm-hmm. The most important people on them teams was the running back and the middle linebacker. That was like the shit. That's where everybody wanted to play. Well, We've moved on from that. That's not where we're at right now. Middle linebackers, the Mike Singletaries of the world, they're just no more. This is not a
running league anymore.
That's not how this game is played anymore. And people eventually will get over that fucking, got to win time of possession. That's how you win games. And I'm like, no, dipshits, you don't win a game by winning time possession. You win time of possession because you win the fucking game. Because like Rika said earlier, you get that lead, and in the fourth quarter, you run the ball. And you keep that lead. So you winning the game was the reason you won time of possession, not the other way around.
Right.
You don't have to establish the run. You don't have to run the ball to make play action work. That's all myths from the 80s that just there's fucking data from 1999 to now that shows none of that shit is true. You know, like I've told this story before. It took me a couple years. It took me actually 7 years to buy into that shit. You know, to realize, you know, that we're not living in the 80s anymore. Let's move on and play football in a different way. It's just not how it's played anymore. That's
I mean,
why,
you
like I said,
definitely
that's why I
want a
wasn't big on the
quarterback
Parsons
that
pick.
knows how to control the clock, but that is no longer the key to winning games. That's the key to winning the fourth quarter. It's not like it used to be. And I think in 2016, the Cowboys had a great year. Ezekiel Elliott had a phenomenal year. Dak Prescott had a phenomenal year. And they did it the old school way because they were winning those games, not because we had a good defense. They were winning those games because we were controlling time of possession and other teams were letting us do it. But we're 5 years down the road and we're not going to get away with that bullshit anymore. And Steven has got to realize that. He's got to realize that it's not a running league. We're going to have a defense that is going to be able to keep opponents off the scoreboard and, you know, and let us run that score up. And then we can take out Ezekiel Elliott and show him off in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I agree with Matt Owen on 2 out of them 3. The O-line.
Yeah, he lost me after running back, but man, I was in love with the comment.
Offensive line in round 1. He doesn't believe in it.
I mean, if it's a guard or a center,
a leprechaun riding a unicorn.
If it's a guard or a center, then I can maybe see it. But if it's a tackle, no, I'm drafting him in round 1.
Yeah.
And I actually drafted a guard and said I wouldn't. O-line is just, to me, is important.
But if I own this team, we would draft a kicker every year in round 1, and I don't care what spot we had. I would trade up to get the best kicker.
But totally agree on the running back and off the ball linebacker.
I wanted to do it this year. I wanted to give every pick we had to Jacksonville, take the first overall pick, draft a kicker, drop the mic, and walk the fuck out of there. But nobody wanted to get on board with me.
Hard to find followers there, man.
Yeah.
Show you who runs this shit.
Yep.
And that says round 1's for cornerbacks, pass rushers, quarterbacks, and wide receivers ideally. Hey, I agree with you on that comment there, but I think you can include O-line.
Cornerbacks, I agree with. Pass rushers, I agree with.
As long as I've known Charlie,
I agree with. But wide receivers, I'm not even.
His top 4 premium positions have always been quarterback, protect the quarterback, so tackle, rush the quarterback, pass rusher, edge, and then corner. Mm-hmm. And recently, I think he's actually switched that from pass rush last at quarterback up front. And he might have even sprinkled in wide receiver there because obviously weapons in the last 3-4 years haven't said enough about it. Weapons are important.
Yeah, I'm a coverage greater than pass rush guy.
Coverage is kind of crept into
I'll
being
take
a little
coverage
bit
over pass rush, but pass rush is still important. It's still one of my top premium positions. Just I'll take. If you give me a choice, you want a team with badass coverage or you want a team with badass pass rush, I'm taking the team with badass coverage every time. Because with badass pass rush, you can do some things to slow that shit down. You can chip, you can double team, you can call plays to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick. There's a lot of things you can do to kind of mitigate that. But if their coverage is good, their coverage is good. I mean, but that said, you can only cover somebody for so long before they will get open eventually.
Sorry to cover you up there, Rika.
That's okay.
Real quick, AFC plus NFC championship game last year, 20-0 starting O-line.
No other position routinely due to the yearly basis.
Hey, I can't have both you motherfuckers reading at the same time.
She was reading to herself.
I got both y'all married. That's all I was hearing. What the hell is going on? I'm hitting like, is that my damn headset?
I don't know. Matt wrote us a novel. Neither one of us are very smart. We kind of have to read it out. Get off our ass, Charlie.
He is almost always at least 7 deep in most drafts. No other position routinely is as deep on a yearly basis. Man, I don't know about that. Can you go back further than last year on that and get back with us maybe next week or something like that? I'd be interested in seeing how deep that goes.
It's a good topic, but I don't know very much about it.
And then no other position routinely is as deep on a yearly basis as O-line?
I do want to say, and this is
I totally agree with that. I've heard coaches, I've heard GMs, I've heard players talking about being deep on O-line. There's not a lot of good O-line left, and that's a lot of that has to do with how college football is played. Is that the depth of O-line has how they play football in college doesn't kind of translate well to the NFL, and they have a hard time finding O linemen. So no, I 100%. I don't.
I mean,
usually
just think
disagree with
about
Matt,
how
but
many
I do on that one.
O line or how many free agent O linemen there are every year. Not very many.
No.
Yeah.
No, I
If they were plentiful,
you'd
you'd be able to pick them up in free agency, like
Bluff
running backs.
City.
Bluff says Matt's in full Professor Omo right now.
Hell yeah. So
What up, Bluff?
yeah, I think we just got a minute left, but really quick, I just want to ask this one question, and we don't even have to answer it. We can just think about it. But I've given it a whole lot of thought since February. When February came around, I was already big on Rashawn Slater, and I already knew that we built a whole lot of depth at O-line. So I sat there and I watched that Super Bowl, and let me ask you this. If Kansas City had a Rashawn Slater or a Brandon Knight in their arsenal when they lost both their tackles, would they have won that Super Bowl?
Here's why I don't buy that the tackles were the main deal.
Yeah.
Patty Mahomes was hitting people in the helmet in the end zone doing backflips. So if we get 2 or 3 of those catches where he hit receivers in the end zone for drops, it's a completely different ballgame. And me and Charlie went back and forth on this. So if you go back and watch the game, the refs had a lot to do with that game. So there was some you can shake your head all you want. There were some questionable calls and in key moments of that game. So
stop blaming the fucking refs, man. Fucking Cowboy fans, man. We fucking blame the refs for fucking everything.
I got no doubt in the fight.
If it's fucking Tom Brady winning Super Bowls because they got more Super Bowls than we do now, we get our fucking all our feelings hurt. You got more Super Bowls than we do, so blame the fucking refs. We lose a game, it's the fucking refs' fault. Fucking play better. Fucking don't lose your OT tag. They ain't the goddamn refs.
You should see
refs
that
was
hate mail
fucking
I
fine.
sent to the refs. I hate those motherfuckers.
I'm not blaming the entire game on it. But you have to give some. It's just like, Nolan doesn't deserve all the blame for the defense being shit last year, but he shoulders a lot of it. Now, the play calling does come in every sport, really, every sport. In key moments, big plays, when the wrong call or questionable calls are made, those are turning points in games.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, that's fucking human. That's a human thing that we make mistakes. Fucking trust me. Fucking. But my thing is that we always. It's like if the ref wouldn't made that call, they're going to be bad calls. You got to be able to overcome that shit. And when it comes to fucking Brady,
Pat Mahomes did,
and you jealous fucks out there that are jealous because he's so fucking great and he's the GOAT, and blame the refs for every fucking thing that happens. Like, oh shit, the refs were fucking bad. That's not happening. And the ones who think the Cowboys get bad calls because we're the fucking media darlings and they want us to win, well, fuck y'all too, because that's stupid.
How many rule changes are because of Tom Brady? I'll end on that.
What? One you can't hit the fucking player low? How many rules was there fucking because of fucking Roy Williams? How many fucking rules? I mean, we can go on and on about fucking rule. How many rules? Emmett Smith had a rule. You can't take your fucking helmet off in the fucking end zone like you used to. I mean, that's just how it goes. But no, I mean, you got a side of Cowboy fans who blame, who think this is what's fucking stupid. You got Cowboy fans who think the NFL is out to get them because they hate us and shit like that. And I think, you know what? Why does that even make sense? We are the fucking cash cow for them. Why would they want us to be bad? The better we are, the more money that they're going to make. So that's stupid.
Charlie, but you got to admit just a little bit that Goodell is out to get us.
And no, not at all. And then there's the other fucking side of it, the fans who think that we get. Then to explain this to me, why do fucking Cowboy fans or Cowboy haters, why do they think we get all the calls and why do we think we get no calls? That should tell you they're probably fucking refereeing the fucking game pretty good.
Yeah.
Because you got two sides that think like
I'm
that.
just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, the other side thinks we get all the calls. I got friends who used to tell me, y'all get lucky, y'all get bullshit calls all the time. And in my head, I'm thinking, no, not fucking really, But that's how they think. They think, well, that's because y'all's media darlings, y'all the cash cow, so they give you all the good calls. And then we fucking Cowboy fans, they think, well, no, it's fucking opposite of that. They want it. They hate us.
We don't get no media. We're not media darlings. We're just used as, ratings.
Cash cow, I will admit. But you know what? I swear to God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that haters think that they want us to fucking win, so they're giving us all the calls. And it's
I'm telling you, a New York any player on the New York Giant team could go out, rape somebody's grandma, kill a bunch of kittens, decapitate a child, and Goodell would be like, "Well, that's $5,000 and a 1 week suspension." And a Dallas Cowboy runs a stop sign or has a fender bender, and he's suspended for 2.5 years and paying $500 million.
That's over exaggeration off the
ridiculous.
Zeke. That's over exaggeration. Name a player off the Cowboys that got suspended besides Zeke that you didn't think should have. You smoke dope, you're gonna get suspended. You fucking do steroids, you're gonna get fucking suspended. You fucking assault somebody, you're going to get fucking suspended. The Cowboys
Very
never
true.
been suspended for a fucking game that they shouldn't have. Zeke's the only one that you can fight.
Yeah.
That's saying that might have been overboard with
Zeke
it. And I
shouldn't have
still say that had a lot to do with the NFL dropping the ball on numbnuts from the running back from fucking Baltimore. My mind just went blank. They didn't watch the video, or they did watch the video and didn't want it leaked out, and they didn't suspend him for
Ricky
one
Rice,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, they see him knocking the shit out of his old lady and dragging her out of the elevator. They look like shit. And from that point on, they're like, okay, we got to do something better than this. So, but Zeke's the only one. Every Cowboy's been suspended. They didn't get suspended because they was fucking choir boys. They got suspended for hitting a fucking bong or fucking juicing up some fucking steroids or taking some goddamn X or whatever the fuck they did. You know, I mean, my thing is this. You got rules in life and you got laws in life. All right, you can't break the fucking rules and the laws and then look back and be like, well, why? That's not fair. Well, fucking don't break the rule and law and you won't get suspended, dipshit. You know, I mean, it's easy. Everybody has rules in life and laws, everything. You know, if you break them, you know, going if you break them, you're gonna pay the price for whatever that price may be. Then don't break them. Don't fucking smoke dope. You know, lay off lay off for a week, clean out. You know, it's like Randy Gregory. I love the guy, but gee, and by the way, anybody want to talk shit about me fucking the weed part? I got a fucking bag in my fucking thing. I'll light up right now if you want me to. All right, so it's not that I don't smoke. All right, I am 100% behind. I'm pro fucking weed. All right, but I worked construction for fucking years. And back when I worked plant work, you had to take a piss test. I never fucking failed a piss test. Never fucking failed a piss test. And I didn't know when they was coming. Them fuckers know when they was coming. Like Randy Gregory. Going to the combine. He knew you about to take a piss test. No, he didn't have to know. He knew. His agent tells him, you got to take a piss test. All you got to do with his percent of body fat, probably 1 week, he could get cleaned out. And you can't lay off the fucking bong for fucking 1 week, then that's your problem. That's not mine. You know, and I get his mental health. I have issues. I ain't getting into it, but I know the fucking issues. But you can lay off for a week. You can lay off for a week. If you can't lay off for a week, then you probably have bigger issues and maybe football, and maybe you need to take some time away from football and help solve some of the issues. If you can't stop smoking dope for 1 week to clean out for a fucking combine. Because once you fail, then you're fucked. Then you're in the program.
Yeah.
Then you get randoms.
I
Like
won't
9, 10 a
argue,
year.
Charlie, that a lot of these Cowboys who have been suspended deserved it because they did
Every
do
one of
something
them.
wrong. However, I think that a lot of those suspensions, the length of time was completely egregious. And if you were to go and compare that to other suspensions around the league, there are very few that have been as harsh.
No. When you get
Alden
suspended for
Smith was a
drugs,
big one,
when DeMarcus Lawrence got suspended 4 games,
It's a
that's a
fact.
rule.
Josh, whoever.
Yeah, that's a rule.
But-
Like when D-Law got
Yeah.
suspended for 4 games, that's the rule. That's not up to Roger to Gill. If you get popped, you get 4 games. Everybody in the field got 4 games from the same thing.
Some
The
of these
only
know-
one is Zeke. That's the only one that should have
Yeah.
been 2 games. Should have been.
Yeah, there was
That's what every-
one.
that's
there
what
was
every
one in
Cowboy
New
fan
York,
falls back
and
on.
I'm gonna have to look up the name. You know what? I think it was Eli Manning. Eli Manning had a domestic violence charge.
No, it wasn't
Maybe it
Eli Manning. It
wasn't
was the
Eli.
kicker. It was the kicker for the Giants.
That's right. It was,
And he was
kicker.
out of the fucking league. That's Cowboy
Yeah.
fans lost their shit. Well, why didn't they spin him? Because he's not in the fucking league. What are they going to do? There's no reason to
No,
suspend
they
him.
had one that only got a 1-week suspension on something. But now it's been like since 2016, so I don't remember the name. I don't remember the details. I'm going to look it up, though. We're going to talk
it was
about
his
it on
wife. His
Twitter.
wife wouldn't come out about it, wouldn't be honest with them. They investigated it. She said nothing happened. And then the court found out something, and then there was some paperwork that was leaked saying that she did admit that he hit her. You know, and then by then he was out of the fucking league, so the NFL didn't do nothing about it. You know, I mean, if he would have came back in the league and started kicking again, they would have suspended him. But can't really suspend a player that's not in the league.
Let me have my Goodell hate. Can I just have one thing, Charlie?
No,
Let her
I can't
hate,
do that, man,
That's
because the
all I'm
Cowboy
asking
fans
for
just
you.
think
I
that
just want my
fucking
Goodell hate, man.
the whole fucking NFL
Damn.
hates us and Goodell's after us, and I'm like,
He
Jesus,
is.
man, y'all sound like fucking Democrats and Republicans believing in some kind of dipshit conspiracy theories. You know, like fucking 9/11 was done by Bush, or fucking COVID has fucking magnets in it now. Fucking dumb fucking Republicans
It
sticking
does.
magnets all to their fucking body. Hey, it's sticking to me. Look at this. I got magnet. Like, you fucking
I
asshole.
can't even
you
go in the
dumbass.
kitchen anymore without getting sucked up against the refrigerator.
Yeah, that's I
I'm
saw
just
that the
kidding.
other day. That's like, Jesus.
Hey, I hate to cut this short, but I got to get out of here. My
All right,
parents
brother.
are yelling
Yeah.
at
Happy
me.
birthday. Enjoy. Drink a beer for
thank
me.
you.
Happy birthday,
Let me
Eric.
get y'all out of here, out of this this deal real quick.
Mhm.
Where am I at? Yeah. Just so it doesn't get all fucking weird whenever I cut out. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's it. That's it for me, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Congratulations, Rika, on the wonderful news. That's awesome. We're gonna check you out.
Okay.
How old are you, Eric? 26, 25?
Yeah, 23. No, I'm in my
23.
37, I believe. So
You gotta
mid 30s. Yeah, it's to the point where birthdays don't really fucking matter. So
Yeah, I'll be 48. I'll be 48 this year, and I don't even care.
But anyways, hey, I appreciate
I'll be
y'all.
depressed when I
Thanks,
turn
Cowboy
50.
fan. Thank you, Charlie. Thanks, Rika. I'm
Later,
out.
dude.
Thank you, Eric.
Peace.
Later,
Had a
dude.
great time.
All right. All right, just me and you now.
All right.
Right.
So what's happening in the chat? Just
There's
Victor.
Victor agrees with you. Me and Victor's had this argument before. No, like I said, I never have bought into it. There's been no, just like I said, there's two fucking sets of fans. There's the Cowboy
Yeah.
fans who think the NFL hates us and doing everything they can to not make us good and shit like that. And then there's the other set of fans that hates us and says that they love us and they want us to do good because we're the cash cow.
Yeah.
And the better we are, the better NFL is. And
Let me ask you this though. Isn't it just a little bit fun when people hate you? Just a little bit fun? There's
my
an
whole
Eagles
life.
fan that hates my guts,
yeah, I
and
know.
I thrive on it.
No, I
love
know. It don't bother me at
I
all.
can't stay off of this kid's YouTube channel because I just want to go and see if he said anything hateful about me today. It fuels me. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, that's that little nerdy looking motherfucker. I know
That
who you're
little
talking about.
douchebag.
Yeah. He but yeah, no, yeah, my whole life people hated me. I mean, I've never been kind of, I've never been a popular one as far as opinions go. So hell, I had a group on Facebook. I would say at least 75% of them fuckers hated me. So, but yeah, no, I have no problem with people hating me. I don't go out for people to hate me, but if I happen to get a few haters on the way, I'm okay with it. I don't try to do it, but if it happens, I have an aggressive way of. I'm aggressive. I cuss a lot, so people take that the wrong way, especially on social media, because you read it and you don't hear it.
Yeah.
So if you see me, like, I cuss a lot. I'm going to say fuck when I'm happy. I'm going to say it when I'm sad. I'm going to say it when I'm mad. I just say it. That's who I am. So when I type that out, most people, when they say fuck as much as I do, that's because they're pissed. Motherfucker, fuck, they get mad. But I'm not like, I can actually be happy and say it. So when people read me like fuck, bomb, fuck bomb, fuck bomb, F-bomb, 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 they're like, oh, he's pissed off. And I'm literally laughing when I'm typing it out, and so people misunderstand me sometimes through social media. And even on here, like I said, when I get on my rants, I'm going to raise up in my chair. I'm going to raise my voice, but I'm not mad. That's just how I am. It's just I'm aggressive when I talk to people. People take that the wrong way sometimes. But it is what it is. Oh. Here we live. Rika was in the trolling for sure.
Yeah.
Rika, you want to give your information out one more time for the Star game, the stuff you're going to do?
Absolutely,
Because
guys.
there's some people in here I don't think was in here when you gave it earlier.
Okay, so if you missed the beginning of the video, big announcement. There's not going to be a blog this week. I'm taking a little tiny break. Next blog is going to be out on Father's Day, June 20th. And if you're a Facebook user, if you connect to Rika Moves the Chains via Facebook, for the rest of June and all of July, the link is going to be available exclusively in the Star Gang group and on the Star Gang page. So if you want a link, if you want to read the new blogs, you're going to have to go over and join Star Gang. Also, BJ Nix and I will be doing some live shows inside the blog with Rika Moves the Chains. But if you want to know the dates and the times, if you want to get in on those live shows, right here on YouTube, as soon as you're done here, make sure you're subscribed. Then search Star Gang. Subscribe to BJ Nix, Mariella, Spoonie, Professor O, and hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when I'm on. And that'll be running through the end of July.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
But we'll get out here in the next 4 or 5 minutes. But we'll do another show. We don't know when we're going to do shows yet during the season. We don't really know when the fuck we're going to do them till training camp. We might just keep a Friday for now until, because a lot of people do them on Wednesday, and so I don't want to go.
Yeah, Wednesday is so congested.
Yeah, I don't want to go to head to head, but it's not like a competition. When I say head to head, that makes it sound like competition. I'm just saying I don't want to go on the same time when there's 5 other people going, you know.
Yeah, I enjoy watching all the shows. I get frustrated when everybody's on at the same time because I want to see all of them, and I want to chat live with my friends who are fans. I want to be live in the chat with Mendoza because I love Mendoza. So when there's 4 or 5 creators all on at the same time, I get a little bummed out about it. I always end up watching the show either that night or the next day, but it's not live, so I'm not chatting with people. So I like it when they spread that out a little bit.
Yeah, that's and Bluff was going to do it on Thursdays, but Bluff goes on Thursdays, and I'm not going. That's my favorite guy. Nothing against anybody else. Just he's my guy.
Yeah.
And so we watch him on Thursday, so I don't want to go the same night he does. So we decided Fridays, but during the season, I think everybody does it on Wednesdays also. So we might do ours on, and I can't do it on Thursdays because Thursday's not football. I guess we could keep with Fridays, but that'd be an odd day, you know. I don't know yet.
Friday, Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what I said. Tuesday is what we talked about. The only thing is I get a lot of my information from Sharp's football. I don't even know the name, but it's Warren Sharp's site.
Yeah.
A lot of my information I get is from him, his site, but they don't update till Wednesdays. So I'm not so sure how I'm going to do that. So we'll do it on Tuesdays and Fridays. Right now we don't care. We're just going to probably stick with Fridays because
Taco Tuesday with Charlie and Eric.
Yeah. And on Fridays, but Eric gets his kid on Fridays too, so there might be sometimes we won't do it because we might have to do it on Wednesday with everybody else so he can get in on it.
Yeah.
And or I might start doing something by myself. I don't think I can. Because that's why I got Eric to do one for me, because I wanted to do one last summer. I was thinking about doing one. And I'm like, I don't think I could sit in front of a fucking camera by myself and just talk to the camera. I'm not like Jay Tuck and them. They're fucking great at it. Bluff does it sometimes by himself. And I'm like, I can't do that. You know, like Jay Tuck, he'll sit in his office and just, hey, it's just start spitting. I'm like,
he's really good at it.
And I'm, but I'm
and
like,
Mr. Rome, how fire is
they are. And I'm
fans
like, I'm not so sure I could do that. So I respect them for that. But I'll try. What I'll do is I won't go live. I'll record it. That way I can watch it. And I'm like, okay, it's pretty good. I'll send it out. But I don't want to go live and look like a fucking idiot. But yeah, we're going to start doing it on probably Friday. We'll probably keep doing it on Fridays until the season starts, and then we'll decide how we're going to do it. I guess Friday's not bad during the season. I guess it'd be something different. It's just so late, you know what I'm saying? After the game on Sunday, you got to wait 5 days before you talk about it. By then, everybody's talking about the game coming up. So we would never get to talk about the game that just played. So that's why we kind of want to do it on Tuesdays. You know, so I can bitch about when we lose. And fucking do stupid shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll be back on next Friday. The content is going to be kind of weird because we're in a bad part of the season. This is when it's fucking dead. So a lot of it is going to be a lot like what we did tonight with Rika. We might try to bring guests on, or we might just do it, and it's just going to be up to y'all to come in and chat, and it's going to be up to y'all to ask questions. And we're just probably going to randomly just get on here and just start talking, and just usually one conversation will lead into another 10. You know, we can talk about offensive line, the next thing you know, we're talking about safeties off because of something else that was brought up. So a lot of this, there's Marcus D. Jones. Thanks so much for that. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. My boy. But yeah, a lot of the content will come from y'all, and some of it will just come from me and Eric just bullshitting and just like the fucking Goodell thing. That was just that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff's going to be like that, just off the wall. Just it comes up and we're just going to throw it down. Let me ask you this: are you going to be exclusive with Stargame until the end of July, or are you going to be able to come back on with anybody else?
Oh no, I can definitely come back on with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I was wondering that earlier when you said that.
I mean, I haven't asked. Yeah. BJ
Well,
hasn't really
ask
talked about
BJ and
that.
make sure. Yeah, ask BJ and make sure he's.
BJ for shit.
Okay, well, don't ask BJ.
No, BJ won't mind. BJ won't mind.
Yeah, because we'll probably have you on again too, because.
Okay, definitely. I love it.
Yeah, and we'll try to get hopefully us and Bluff.
I like this. I like this channel because I can cuss over here.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I don't have to be on my. I don't have to be on my best behavior in it, which is good because I don't have one.
Yeah, we are a little different in that way, but hopefully we get with Marcus too. I want to get with Lambo and him. I was supposed to go last night, but he fucking bumped me for George Teague. I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, I'm a much better guest than George Teague. Come on, dude. But no, that was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool that they got George Teague on there.
Bluff City's awesome.
Yeah, so I didn't mind. That's why, like I said earlier, if I'm going to take sloppy second to somebody, George Teague is somebody I would have no issues taking his sloppy seconds. So, but anyways, we'll get out of here, stay on, and we'll talk a little bit after this. I want to talk to you about something.
Okay, thank you guys in the chat. If you're not following me on Twitter, make sure to go over there and do that, okay? At Chains Moving. I love Twitter followers. I talk the best shit on Twitter.
Well, I guess I should tell me where you can follow us. I always forget. I think most people here know. But anyways, Dallas Cowboys U1 on Twitter and Dallas Cowboys Uncensored on YouTube and on Facebook page. We got a Facebook page. So either one you want to go to. Follow us everywhere. Subscribe. Our subscribers got up pretty good because my little Mexican buddy, Victor, got us. He promoted us on some groups and stuff and got our subscribers
Victor is
up.
the best pimp, man.
Oh, he's fucking. That's why Eric owes him a shirt that he told him, hey, you get our subs up to a certain. I can't remember what the level was, but if you get us so many, I can't remember what the shirt is, but it's some kind of funny shirt. But yeah, thank you for that, Vic. But anyways, reach us Dallas Cowboys Uncensored on YouTube, Dallas Cowboys Uncensored on Facebook page, and Dallas Cowboys U1. You can get me at Moffett2336 on Twitter, and you can get Eric at what is his Fan and the Funny Hat. I'm not even gonna tell you how he spells that shit. Just
Fan
look it up. You'll find it. Just look up Eric Berger, and he'll come up. All right. Anyways, fellas, we're out of here. Thank you, Matt Owen, for saying it's a great show.
Hi, guys.
First time I ever disagreed with you. I don't think I've ever disagreed with Matt Owen. And I've disagreed with him one thing tonight. Seriously, when he's on another show, everything he says, I'm like, fuck yes, I agree. That's what I think. I was like, that's exactly how I think. This is the first time I've ever said, Matt,
I agree
don't agree
with Matt
you.
regularly. The best part, though, is when we're making out when it's over. So,
yeah.
Angry makeout sessions with Matt Owen. I live
Matt
for that
Owen.
shit.
Thank you, Marcus. All right, fellas. Y'all out of here. I'm out of here. What does he say? That's okay, huh? Matt Owen said, that's okay. All right, y'all be good. Catch us on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Catch Rika on her blog and at Twitter on Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, at Chains Moving on Twitter.
All right, later, y'all.